Welcome everyone to this month's webinar, Parkinson's Prairie Shindig. I'm Jeanette Trottier, and I'm part of the Programs and Services team. I would like to start with a land acknowledgement.
Emergency workers have finished
From coast
excavating
to
the fire.
coast, we acknowledge the
Multiply
ancestral and
through report.
unceded territories of Inuit, Métis, and First Nation peoples. Now for some housekeeping pieces. You have the option of viewing this event in speaker view, where the person who is speaking will appear on your device on one large screen, or in gallery view, where you see many small screens, including one with the person speaking. We strongly suggest you choose speaker view so that you'll be better able to see the entertainment that we have in store for you. You can choose which view you want by clicking on the view button on the top right of your screen and then clicking on the view you want. It is very important for everyone attending today's shindig to keep yourselves muted so that our entertainers and guests remain as the active screen for everyone. We have enabled closed captioning for the benefit of attendees who may be hearing impaired. You can turn on or off closed captioning on your own screen by clicking on the CC Live transcript button and then clicking on Show Subtitle or Hide Subtitles. Please know that this feature uses auto transcription, so there may be some spelling errors along the way. Now that we've all done that, let's travel to the prairies, where the fields are grand and the sunsets are amazing. For the next hour and a half, we are going to take you through the prairie provinces of Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba. We're going to start this gathering with Don Amero, a singer-songwriter and three-time Juno Award nominee from Winnipeg, Manitoba. Don, who is of Cree and Métis heritage, has taken the skills he utilizes on stage and applied them to his advocacy work within Indigenous communities and beyond, including his participation as a youth mentor for the Winnipeg Jets and True North Youth Foundation's Project 11. Welcome, Don.
Hi, everybody. Good afternoon. Welcome to Parkinson's Canada's Prairie Shindig. I'm Don Amero. I'm a singer-songwriter from Winnipeg, Manitoba, and today we're so excited that the Parkinson's Canada community from coast to coast is joining us as we journey through Canada's prairie provinces. Now, I live in one of those prairie provinces. I'm from right here, like I say, in Winnipeg, Manitoba. Been here most of my life. Lived a little while on the East Coast, but for the most part have always called Winnipeg home. Like I said, I'm a singer-songwriter. I've been full-time into the music world now for the better part of 15 years, and it's been an incredible journey. It's been a lot of joy, a lot of real pleasure along the way as I've figured this whole thing out. And I figure it's also a pleasure to be here with you today and have an opportunity to sing some songs for you. So I'm going to start off with one of my own. It's a song called "You Can't Always Be 21." Cheap brown whiskey on the counter, scrounging for a pack of Camel Lights. Fresh ID for the bouncer on a Friday night. Stealing outs like you're some kind of desperado, talking up your stories to your friends. When you're done sleeping in all morning, you're gonna do it all again. When you're young, you think you're young forever, out living wild and free, that's how it's supposed to be, yeah. You got the rest of your life to get yourself together. Yeah, so light up the nights, have your day in the sun, 'cause you only live once, and you can't always be 21. And now the good times are just bad habits, and you see goodbye in her eyes. And you're pushing 35, so getting high school high. You don't realize how fast it goes by when you're young. You think you're young forever, out living wild and free, that's how it's supposed to be, yeah. And now you're running out of time to get 'Cause every candle burns out. When it's all said and done, you can try all you want, but you can't always be 21. Ooh, yeah. Oh, when you're young, you think you're young forever. Out living wild and free, that's how it's supposed to be, yeah. Who knows the time to get yourself together? Yeah, you lit up the nights, had your day in the sun, thinking, man, that was fun, but you can't always be 21. Can't always be 21. I got one more song I want to sing for you. It's a song called Won't Give Up. Now, you know, our whole entire globe has been under some stress as of late and for the last couple of years. And I've always been the type to look at the glass as half full rather than half empty. Now, you know, some people look at it and think there's the same amount of water in that glass no matter how you look at it. But I'd rather be somebody who kind of tries to see the positive things through what we're going through. And the last couple of years, you know, has been hard, but there's also been a lot of blessings and a lot of really incredible things that I've been afforded had we not gone through a pandemic. And it's very different than I would have asked for or would have wanted. But it is what it is, and I figure, you know, all we can do is take it one day and one straight at a time, and that's what I'm trying to do, and that's kind of what this song's a little bit about. It's about sort of, you know, taking it one straight at a time, and sometimes when you're looking for somewhere to lean, there's nobody there, and you know, this song really speaks about finding that inner strength when the going gets tough. So maybe you need to hear this song today. I love singing this one because it reminds me that you know, I got this thing inside me that's always worth fighting for. Hopefully you think the same way. It's called Won't Give Up. Ain't nowhere to go, up against the ropes, when lonely hits the heart like a heavy blow. Well, I ain't scared to fight, but I've been wearing down. It's hard to throw a punch when you're on the ground, and you might think that the fight is over, and it might look like I'm down for the count. I'm a rolling stone, I am wild and free, and if no one's by my side, I won't give up on me. Yeah, I've been in the dark, but that ain't me no more. There's a light inside of me worth fighting for. I'm a rolling stone, I'm wild and free, and if no one's by my side, I won't give up. Yeah, ooh, oh, oh. When there's only moments left, you wished you'd bet on me, 'cause I was never down. I was only on my knees. I'm a rolling stone, I keep rolling on. the tried and true. When the road is long, and I will stand my ground, just like an old oak tree. And if no one's by my side, I'll never run and hide. I won't give up on me. Thanks.
What a great way to get this shindig started. Thank you, Dawn. My name is Alice Gurman, and I'm Program and Services Coordinator here at Parkinson Canada. And I'm happy you are joining us on this tour of the prairies. Now we are going to start our tour with Alberta. Here we are going to experience a sing-along with Brian Farrell. Brian is a vocal coach who is passionate about helping people find their signature sound through voice training in a variety of musical styles. Brian leads the Parkinson's Sing Part program for Parkinson's Association of Alberta in Calgary, where he inspires participants through singing, humorous stories, and movements. Then we are also going to start our photographic tour with Chris Attrell as he shares some Alberta scenery. Chris is a prairie photographer that has been capturing the prairie beauty since 1996. In 2003, his focus turned to exploring the rural prairie provinces and creating a photographic history by capturing symbols of prairie past, grain elevators, ghost towns, and abandoned buildings. Throughout this shindig, he is going to take us on a historical journey through all of the prairie provinces. But first, a welcome from Alberta.
Hi, my name is Declan, and I'm with the Parkinson Association of Alberta. I'm a client service coordinator who works to support and inform people with Parkinson's in our province. Staying connected is a big part of living well with Parkinson's. On behalf of the Parkinson's community here in Alberta, welcome and thanks for including us in this fun event.
I'm Brian Farrell. I'm here in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, in the Western provinces. Anyway, we're gonna have some fun with some singing today. I work with Parkinson's Alberta, and I'm also a vocal coach. I work with singers that you might have heard on the radio. And it's a real pleasure for me to be here today. I've written a book. It's called Mind and Music. It helps people find their voice, their physical voice, and their voice in terms of who they are and who they set out to be. But let's start right now with some warm-ups. There's, the singers are always getting ready for a performance or a recording, or in our case, in our daily lives, to just get a rhythm going. There's basically three things we work from. We work from basically getting a rhythm going in our lives, and through that rhythm and groove, we have to know the story of what we're about to do, and then through the story, we understand too about technique. So let's look at a little bit of technique right now on some warm-ups, and we're just gonna go ooh, and when you sing that ooh, think in the opposite direction. Ooh, some more physicality. Ooh, move your hand up. Ooh, as you sing down. So that works really well. Always think in the opposite direction. So for example, here's a little siren thing. If you go, woo, so you do that and you think like this, woo, try that together, woo, or this one, woo, try that, woo, and then this one, wow, little falsetto, wow. That siren thing is a really quick way to get the voice limbered up and get some blood flowing and get some energy going. Another one is, this is good for the jaw, relaxing the jaw and moving the mouth. It's really important that we just get that sense of feeling in the mouth. doobie doobie doo. This is really helpful for us. Doobie 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 doo. Doobie 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 doo. Move the mouth as much as you can. Doobie 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 doo. 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 So that is, and you can even do it like this. Doobie 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 doo. Doobie 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 doo. One more. Doobie 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 doo. You want the singing to be in the mask, and it's like you've got an apple and you bite the apple and the placement of the sound is right there. Doobie doobie, ah, right in there. Here's another good one. Oh, so it's like, oh, 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 oh. Change to ah, ah, like biting an apple. Ah, ah. Go to ooh again. Try to have your body all in line so you're not pulling forward or everything's just really relaxed, just like that. And then we do some physicality when we sing with the Parkinson's gang here in Alberta. One of the songs we do, I'll share my screen, I'll show you what I mean. One of the songs we do is this one coming up. Share the screen, and there's a song right there. Now this one was done obviously in The Sound of Music. You're trying to look for music that when we were 13 and 14 years old, some of those songs we'll never ever forget. That's the really crazy thing is we might forget our names when we're 95 or 100 years old, but we'll never forget those songs from when we were 13 or 14 years old. This is again a song that's from The Wizard of Oz. It's Oscar Hammerstein and Richard Rodgers. It's simply, I can change the key on this one. We can even put it down a little bit, but we'll sing it here for now. So Edelweiss, Edelweiss, every morning you greet me, small and white, clean and bright. You look happy to meet me. And then blossoms of snow, and it goes on like that. Another song we do is this one, which is really interesting. This was a song written by Bert Bacharach, and it was a big deal song, actually. I'm just moving this, and we're going to just change the key to make it easier. But it's just, so again, establish the rhythm when you're going to sing a song. You can move around. Sometimes we walk around to sing, and it's raindrops are falling on my head. And just like the guy whose feet are too big for his bed, nothing seems to fit. Those raindrops are falling on my head, they keep falling. So I just did me some talking to my son, and I said I didn't like the way he got things done, sleeping on the job. Those raindrops are falling on my head, they keep falling. But there's one thing, and then the song goes on, and it even goes on for another page. But they always have, and like you do, you have the words in front of you, and we sit down, we stand up at times. So there's, again, as I said earlier, there's a lot of physicality. And I don't put the titles at the top of these because I want people to kind of think about using lateral skills. What song could this possibly be? Oh, there it is. I see it in there later on. But this is a Beatles song. And
Yellow
here
Submarine.
it goes like this. The Yellow Submarine, yeah. And then we have some fun. What song is this, gang? Okay, here we go. 2, 3. In the town where I was born lived a man who sailed the sea, and he told us of his life in a land of submarine. And then let's go right to the chorus. We all live, and we all live in a yellow submarine. A yellow submarine. A yellow submarine. We all live in a yellow submarine. A yellow submarine. A yellow submarine. And we could repeat it again. And then we talk a little bit about what this song means to you. Like, I gotta say that I saw McCartney and I saw Ringo Starr, and they sang this at Radio City Music Hall in New York. It's just a little ditty, but wow, we were in tears because the whole audience in Radio City was singing along. It was so special. And that's what it is when we share music together. It's a really beautiful, wonderful opportunity. I'll just show you this one. This is a great song. Liza Minnelli sang this. And this is a cool song because it's got a neat little story inside it. And it's just, this is cabaret, right? And it's got this. What good is sitting alone in your room? Come hear the music play. Life is a cabaret, old chum. Come hear the cabaret. Then it goes on, put down the knitting, the book and the broom. And again, we use some articulation back to the doobie-doobie-doo. Again, moving your mouth to formulate the words. Another song that we sing many times is this one. Take a look at it. Do you know what it is? Can you find the title in there somewhere? Can't Buy Me Love. And who wrote that? When was it written? 1964, Beatles, right? Another song that we have fun with. Again, a Beatles song. Close your eyes and I'll kiss you. Tomorrow I'll miss you. Remember, I'll always be true. Yeah, so again, it's All My Loving. I thought love was only true in fairy tales. Did you know Neil Diamond wrote this song? Keep thumping these notes. Let's stop the share for a second and let's go back to our meeting. Let's see if I can find you again. There you are, right in here somewhere, and there I am. So this is what we do. Music should be something that we really love to do, and it's something that helps us get this sense of rhythm, get this sense of groove. And when we've got a sense of groove and rhythm, our minds seem to travel in a good way, moving forward, and it helps us with all the things we do in our everyday. It's always rooted in story, as I said earlier. And all these technical things that we do help us with the story and help us with the rhythm and the groove. Well, it's been my pleasure to share a little bit about music with you, specifically technique and specifically some songs that we sing along with. I hope you have a great day, and you're very welcome to participate with us when we do our Parkinson Sing program here in Alberta. I do some work also in the United States with some particular Parkinson's programs, but mostly it's a beautiful opportunity for us to share music together. Have a great day, all. Enjoy.
My name is Chris Attrell. I live in Shaunavon, Saskatchewan. I moved here in 2006 from Banff, Alberta. I began doing photography in 1996 while I still lived in Calgary. In 2003, I took a drive out across Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba, mostly to shoot old abandoned ghost towns and grain elevators, both of which have always fascinated me. After this, I began taking trips across the prairies more and more frequently until I finally moved to Saskatchewan. As I learned more about how these folks lived, they farmed, I appreciated how much these people worked and invested so much time to grow these communities. I often find myself at these abandoned places trying to imagine what it was like in 1930. At this point, there was no TV. Most had no power. They would have had to spend all winter keeping themselves entertained in the cold and often in the dark. The social network in the area was the church or community hall, and those events must have been eagerly anticipated, and in some cases, that's where most people got the latest news. Many of these old places had an outhouse and a barn to shelter animals. It's where they got milk and eggs, and probably stored wood that they had to use to heat the house. It was a very different lifestyle than what we're used to now.
Wow, the prairies are so rich with history and talent. Amazing. Hello, everyone. My name is Michelle Carlson, and I'm the Community Engagement Admin Coordinator for Parkinson Canada. I was born in Regina, raised and now live in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, you know, the prairie province between Alberta and Manitoba, and a home to the Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Go Riders, go. What I love about Saskatchewan is that we are the sunniest province in Canada, despite our long winters. We never change our clocks for daylight savings time, ever. And in Saskatchewan, the hooded sweatshirt is called a bunny hug. All right, enough fun facts for now. Let's continue. I'm so excited to introduce the next few performances. All right, we have Blair Lassard and Roger Elaine from Hudson Bay, Saskatchewan, and they're going to share a couple of songs with us. And then we're going to continue to travel Saskatchewan with beautiful photography from Chris Attrell. Then we're going to enjoy a song by Sanctuary Much, a Saskatoon band that consists of Keith Barnes, Howard Dirksen, Jody Gilbertson, Bruno Kinsey, Rod McPherson, Eldon McHarg, Bill Robertson, and Daryl Woods. So hope you enjoy the talents of Saskatchewan, everyone.
Hello, this is Roger Elaine with Blair Lassard. We're from Hudson Bay. My sister Janine has Parkinson's. She asked us to do a couple of songs. I hope you enjoy them. This is Evangelina. Had a dream in the morning. She brought me water. Had a dream in the evening. She brought me wine. Just a poor man's daughter. From Puerto Peñasco. She's Evangelina. There's a great hot desert south of Mexicali. If you don't have water, you better not go. Tequila will get you across that desert to Evangelina. Fire I feel for the God only knows that I rack my brain to try and find a way to reach that woman in old Mexico. Guarded the border. He says you don't need papers, 'cause I'll let you go. I can tell that you love her by the look in your eyes, boy. She's a rose of the desert in old Mexico, and the fire I feel for the woman I love is driving me insane. I know she's waiting, but I cannot get there. And God only knows that I rack my brain to try and find a way to reach that woman in old Mexico. Take one. You told me once that you'd be mine forever, and I would be yours for eternity. But those vows are broken now, and we will never be the same, except in memory. Remember me when the candles and lights gleaming. Remember me at the close of a long, long day. It would be so sweet when all alone I'm dreaming. And if you do, sweetheart, remember me. Another face may take my place when we're apart. Another friend with a life more bold and free. But in the end, fair weather friends may break your heart, dear. And if they do, sweetheart, remember me. Remember me
When I shoot these buildings, I try to my best to capture the spirit of the homes. It was, after all, decades of history for one family. People were often born in these houses and may have spent most of their life living here. Photographing them at night is my favorite time to shoot. I can use simple light sources I bought at the hardware store to give these places a special look. Some people look at these images and think that the house looks haunted and scary. But in my years of photographing these places, even at night, I have never come across any ghosts. These places do not frighten me. When I'm shooting these at night, I try to imagine there was a child staring at the window into the night sky with no light pollution. And they can hear sounds that we don't hear anymore because they're drowned out with machines. Every once in a while, you come across a one-room school in rural Saskatchewan, Alberta, and Manitoba. They had these every few kilometers. Each one of these schools would house all grades. And often the oldest child would be responsible for showing up early and making sure the school was heated before the other students arrived. Some kids would ride their horse to school. It must have been a very lonely place for some of these teachers to come all the way across Canada and be assigned to one of these really remote schools. A lot of people ask me how I find these places. Nowadays, there's lots of places on the internet you can go to find them. There's apps, GPS pins, and Facebook groups. Just follow my directions. But to this day, I still prefer just to go down any rural highway or grid road and discover these places myself. If you go long enough, you'll eventually find something. It's these carefree road trips that keep me going. I can go to the same town 2 different times, in 2 different seasons, and find 2 different ways to photograph the places. This never gets old. And it's why, after 20 years of exploring Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba, I still have plans to continue exploring and finding new things.
Greetings from Sanctuary Much, the worship band at Grace Westminster United Church in Saskatoon. Our band is sending a big shout out to Tony Allen, who's a member of the Saskatoon Parkinson Support Group and who played the stand-up bass with our band for 10 years and with a few other bands around and outside of Saskatoon. For the last of those years, Tony played through Parkinson's, a really stand-up guy with a rock-solid bass line. For this Prairie Shindig, we've dusted off a favorite in a sing-along jam that we used to hold with the Saskatoon Parkinson Support Group to exercise our vocal cords. Join in if you know it.
What would you think if I sang out of tune? Would you stand up and walk out on me? Lend me your ears and I'll sing you a song, and I'll try not to sing out of key. Oh, I get by with a little help from my friends. I get high with a little help from my friends. Gonna try with a little help from my friends. What do I feel when our love is away? Does it worry you to be alone? How do I feel by the end of the day? Are you sad because you're on your own? No, I get by with a little help from my friends. I get high with a little help from my friends. Gonna try with a little help from my friends. I need somebody to love. Could it be anybody? I want somebody to love.
Would you believe in a love at first sight?
Yes, I'm certain that it happens all the time.
What do you see when you turn out the light?
I can't tell you, but I know it's mine. Oh, I get by with little help from my friends. I get high with little help from my friends. Oh, I'm gonna try with little help from my friends.
Do you need anybody?
I just need somebody to love.
Could it be anybody?
I want somebody to love. Oh, I get by with little help from my friends. I get high with little help from my friends. Gonna try with little help from my friends. Yes, I get by with little help from my friends. With little help from my friends.
What an entertaining journey through Saskatchewan and Alberta. Thank you so much to our incredibly talented performers. My name is Krista Duncan. My colleague Donna Greening and I are now going to test your knowledge of Canada's prairie provinces with a fun quiz about the prairies. In just a few seconds, you're going to see a poll pop up on your screen. You can choose the answers and then we'll review it to see how well we all know Canada's prairie provinces. So let's get started. The first question is, what is a booter? A booter. Now,
there we go.
Oh, did we get it?
I see it on my screen.
I do not, so hopefully everyone else can see it. Do we have, everyone else has question one?
Yeah, we've got people
Perfect.
answering.
Excellent, okay. So you can see, what is a booter? Is it A, someone who always wears cowboy boots, or B, when snow or water gets in your boot or footwear? Let me give it a countdown, maybe a few more seconds, Donna, 10 seconds?
It says 100% answered.
Oh, there we go. I can't see it, so thank you. Okay, so the correct answer is, it is B, when snow or water gets in your boot or footwear.
All right, and question number 2, what does it mean if you get biffed? Does it mean you forgot something, or does it mean you slipped or fell? Make sure you get your answer in. It says 100%, but I see the number is still going up. So we'll give you a few more seconds to get your answers in. All right, the correct answer is B, you slipped or fell.
All right, so question number 3, this one's a fun one. What is gotch? It's just a fun word, I like to say that. So is that either A, another word for men's underwear, or is it B, a children's game similar to hopscotch? And Donna, if you can keep an eye on the votes there, because I can't see it. Thank you. This is a tough one.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, so the correct answer is, gotch is another word for men's underwear.
All right, question number 4. What is a windrow? Is it a home that has a whole row of windows grouped together? Or is it the snow that's left at the end of the driveway after the snow plow has cleared a road?
I think everyone might just choose A because they don't want to talk about snow anymore. We're done. We're done with snow.
You got a couple more seconds to get your answers in. Okay, the correct answer is, it is the snow that's left at the end of a driveway after the snowplow has cleared the road. And they are terrible to shovel because they're full of ice and chunks of debris that's left behind.
So the next question, Michelle already mentioned this, so you've been given the answer. We'll see if you remember. What is a bunny hug? Is it A, a sweater or hoodie? Or is it B, another word for a bunny nest?
Looks like people have been paying attention.
Well, there we go. A few more seconds, Donna?
Yeah, just a couple.
Okay.
There's still a couple more answers trickling in. And let's close that one.
All right. So for those of you that remember, a bunny hug is in fact a sweater or a hoodie.
All right, and question number 6. What are dainties? Are they sweet treats or are they dress shoes? Got a few more seconds. All right, and the correct answer is dainties are sweet treats, often served at social events.
Now I'm hungry. So the next question is, what is a quinzee? Is it A, a popular card game? Or is it B, making a snow fort where you create a large pile of snow, wait for it to harden, and then hollow it out? Again, with the snow questions, I think it's a prairie thing, right, Donna? Lots of snow.
Unfortunately, yes.
Oh, maybe I just gave a clue there. Shouldn't have done that.
Give it a few more seconds. All righty.
Oh, Margaret says they make them in New Brunswick too. So there you go. The correct answer is B. It's a snow fort.
Next question. What are people talking about when they refer to Cowtown? Is it several dairy farms in a row, or are they talking about Calgary, Alberta? Got a few more seconds. All right. The answer is Calgary, Alberta.
The next one's another fun one. If you hit the rhubarb, what happened? You A, crashed into a ditch, or B, you got angry while making dinner?
All these food questions making me hungry.
No.
Got a couple more seconds. Okay.
All right, and the correct answer is, if you hit the rhubarb, you crashed into a ditch. Hopefully you were okay, but that's what that means.
And our last question is, what is a no-see-um? Is it a game of hide and seek, or is it a small insect also known by the name a sandfly? Got a couple more seconds. Get your answers in. And the correct answer is it's a small insect also known as sandfly. Well, how fun was that? We hope everyone had a chance to learn something new about the prairies. And now we are going to continue with our tour of the prairies as we travel to Manitoba. Like Saskatchewan, Manitoba has wide open spaces with beautiful blue skies. Haitha Forsyth, or Saul James, as she goes by on stage, is a Manitoba singer-songwriter. Over the past decade, Haitha has been performing and touring and released 2 recordings, cementing her place as a sought-after professional vocalist. She was recruited by U-Turn Parkinson's to lead the U-Tunes choral program, sharing her musical talents and inspiring those with Parkinson's. Janice Horn is a Manitoba artist who has dedicated her talents to helping people with Parkinson's break away from the constraints of the disease and express themselves through art. Janice was born an artist and shares her talents through many different mediums. But first, Becky Isaac Kaliza is going to bring greetings from Manitoba.
Hello everyone, my name is Becky Isaac Kaliza and I'm joining you today from Winnipeg, Manitoba. And I'm here at one of my favorite places to visit in Winnipeg, Fort White Alive. It's a wonderful place if you're wanting to take a break from city life and get out and see some nature. You can go walking, hiking, biking, snowshoeing or skiing through prairies, forests, marshes, and over boardwalks. And the best part is you never have to leave the city, and there's a ton of wildlife often and animals, my favorite of which is the bison that are here. So a little bit about me and my connection with Parkinson's disease. I have had several family members and family friends who have or who have had Parkinson's, and the most significant of those to me being my dad, Bill Isaac. He was an amazing dad and father and affectionately known to our family as Pooba. So it's because of him that I became involved with Parkinson Canada here in Winnipeg. I volunteer for many of the conferences that they've had here, as well as a Super Walk every year when it's held in person. So speaking of the Super Walk, my family and I also do the walk every year, and my son Will puts all of us and our fundraising efforts to shame every year. And the best part about volunteering for Parkinson Canada is the amazing people that I've met through the years, and I really hope that I can continue volunteering for them for many more years. So now I would like to share with you a few fun facts about Manitoba, and the first being, you know you're from Manitoba when you're proud of the title Winterpeg. As you can see, there's a ton of snow. And you take pride in the fact that you live in one of the top 5 coldest cities in the world, and you no longer bat an eyelash at waking up and seeing that the temperature is -50, because you put on your 3 layers of clothing just to head outside to go somewhere. So Friendly Manitoba has become a mantra, not a slogan. Being welcoming and giving back are awesome Manitoban traits that truly make us the country's friendliest people. It has become our way of life, and we are very, very proud of it. And last but not least, a fun fact to share. Winnipeg is the geographic center of Canada. So despite what those people in Toronto may think, the whole country actually revolves around us and not them. So with that, I want to officially welcome you all to Manitoba, and I want to introduce our next performer, Haitha Forsyth. Haitha, also known as Soul James, is the program manager and music therapist at U-Turn Parkinson's here in Winnipeg, and leads the U-Tunes choir. Haitha, over to you.
Hello there, welcome to the Parkinson's Canada Prairie Shindig. My name is Haitha Forsyth, and I'm going to entertain you for the next few minutes with some prairie songs. I live and work in Winnipeg, Manitoba. I am a program manager and music therapist for U-Turn Parkinson's, where we provide wellness programming for people living with Parkinson's. And I'm a professional musician who gigs and gets work here around Winnipeg and in the broader parts of Canada. I feel very blessed to be from the Prairies, and I'm very honored here to be able to perform a couple of songs that I've written about my experience on the Prairies. I'm going to start with a song that I wrote about where I'm from, which is the Interlake of Manitoba. So Manitoba has 2 big lakes. They have Lake Winnipeg and Lake Manitoba, and all of my family settled up in between the 2 of them. And so, I wrote this song as a bit of an anthem for the people who live in the Interlake. It's called Big Sky. out of a golden age where a good thing just don't fade, or where you go back home and find folks still living the same. And they raised me to feel a pride for the land where I lay my young head down, 'cause it was built by the sweat and the love of those I care about. So I sing, I'm from the prairie, born and raised between the inland oceans by the good Lord's grace, closer to heaven every moment spent living my life under the big sky. Na 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 na. Now just go there and find the salt of the earth in the face of the common man, who built a life for himself out of using his own two hands. Well, it's who we are, it's how it's done when we're from the prairie, born and raised between the inland oceans by the good Lord's grace, closer to heaven every moment spent living our lives under the big sky. Na 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 There you go, Big Sky. That is a song I wrote for being here from the Interlake of Manitoba, right in the middle of the prairies.
Wow,
Okay,
beautiful.
so next I have a song. It's very new to me. I just wrote it about a month ago, and it's a song that I wrote for my best friend for her birthday. And we've been friends for half of our lifetime, and we grew up here in the prairies. Her name is Dawn, and on all of her social media handles, she calls herself Prairie Dawn. And so for a couple of years now, I've thought, wouldn't it be nice if I wrote her a song for her birthday that incorporated the idea of her being Prairie Dawn, who she calls herself, but also kind of comparing her to the beautiful prairie dawns that we have around here. And if you live in the prairies, you understand that the sun is a big part of what we have here. And in particular, we have such beautiful sunrises and sunsets. And so I wanted to really give her a chance to feel my love for her as her friend, but also compare her to the beautiful prairie dawns that we have here. So this is called, surprise, surprise, Prairie Dawn. Now if there is one thing that I would tell you, if I could reach out and speak to your heart, it would be thank you for all that you've done, all of the ways that you've shown me your love, that you're someone I can always count on, like the spark of a fire on the horizon, as it casts all the world in its light. You keep rising up from the twilight foregone to burn bright as a prairie dawn. You burn bright as a prairie dawn. Well, you know I've watched you all of the years going by, as you've grown, moved and changed in this world, becoming a mother and loving your man, carefully weaving a life with your hands, igniting everywhere you land, like the spark of a fire on the horizon, as it casts all the world in its light. You keep rising up from the twilight foregone to burn bright as a prairie dawn. You burn bright as a prairie dawn. So if it hurts my eyes to watch you shine, I'd gladly go blind. You're the spark of fire on the horizon, and you cast all the world in your light. You keep rising up from the twilight foregone to burn bright as a prairie dawn. You burn bright as a prairie dawn. Keep burning bright, my prairie dawn. Thank you so much for joining me once again. My name is Heather Forsyth. I live here in Winnipeg, Manitoba, and I work for U-Turn Parkinson's, and I'm a professional musician, and I hope to see you at more Parkinson's Canada events. But what a wonderful way to spend a few minutes together. So I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you so much.
Hi, Janice, and welcome to the Parkinson's Prairie Shindig. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
Great. It's awesome that you're able to join us and that you're going to share some artwork with us. But first, let's hear a little bit about you.
Well, let's see. I've had Parkinson's for 20 years now. I got it quite young and found that I was really struggling with the diagnosis. And so when I was diagnosed, I got very depressed. And being an artist, I used art to kind of change how I felt and realize how I was feeling and deal with it a little bit. And I think it really did change my life. I think it saved my life.
Miss, where are you from in the prairies?
Winnipeg, Manitoba. Cold, cold, cold.
Cold, cold, cold with a lot of snow, right?
Yes, this year for sure, yeah.
How does painting help you to live well with Parkinson's?
Well, first of all, it helps my mood for sure. And I struggle with depression, mood issues with my Parkinson's. It also has helped my physical symptoms. When I do art, I forget to take my meds because all my symptoms go away. So it's quite liberating that way for periods of time. I can almost feel free of Parkinson's, which is great for me. I've had a few other people find the same thing. They are feeling better when they're doing it. So it helps in a lot of ways, really. It's every aspect of it, it helps with.
Wonderful. What are some of the inspirations and, specifically links to, the prairies when it comes to your art? Where do you find that inspiration?
Oh, from everything. Like, I don't do many winter paintings because I don't go out that much for the winter. I'm not crazy about it. This one in particular is Grand Beach, which is not far from us. A friend of mine took a picture. It was just the sky was so stunning. I decided to paint it. Grand Beach is really known for its beautiful sand. I think it's worldwide known for it because it's so smooth and soft and white and beautiful. And so everybody from Winnipeg and the Prairies goes to Grand Beach at some point. So yeah. So a lot of the things I paint are about Winnipeg itself or places close to it. Another one is the damselfly. Actually, it's not a dragonfly. I have to be careful. I don't know if they have it here, but it's a damselfly, and it's everybody in Winnipeg goes to Kenora for a home.
Okay.
Lots of people have cabins up there. And I went on a hike and I took this picture in the grass, and the green and the blue were just so stunning to me. I decided to paint it. So
it is so incredibly vibrant.
Yeah, the green was actually that green. It was just a beautiful picture.
Beautiful. What is the difference between a dragonfly and a damselfly?
Well, they're from the same family of bug, actually, but dragonflies have their wings out.
Okay.
And damselflies have them tucked in. This is a dragonfly in this one. So, yeah, so their damselfly will have their wings tucked into their bodies.
Yeah.
Dragonflies are often bigger than the damselflies. Damselflies are quite skinny. So it just varies in that way. They're the same family of bug, though.
Okay.
I also do multimedia stuff. So I use collage and the masks that I made for the masked emotions is collage and painting and different things glued on and paper, like making things out of paper, and yeah, that's them. Now,
Okay.
this was made specifically up for a Parkinson's show and has to do with our masked faces. We don't get to show expression the way other people do. I've had so many instances where people said to me, "Oh, you're being rude," or "You're mad, why are you mad?" or things like that, because my face isn't showing me how I'm actually feeling. I've had to explain myself. So each of these masks represents a different emotion. And I've done some more as well since these, but I don't have them on this particular photo. It's a very close to my heart project. It was months in the making, so.
Those are beautiful. Well, thank you very much, Dennis, for hopping on with us and sharing your beautiful artwork and sharing some of the stories behind it and all those sorts of pieces. It's been great to sit and chat with you and explore the art. So thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks for having me. It's great to be thought of. Thank you.
There's a lot of talent in the prairies, isn't there? Especially here in Manitoba, I'm very proud to call Manitoba home. My name is Lance Latane, and I'm one of the events coordinators with Parkinson Canada. I live here in Winnipeg, and I'm happy to share my home province with the rest of you. Here are a couple of things you probably don't know about Manitoba. Number one, Manitoba is the Slurpee capital of the world, a title it's held for 22 consecutive years. The title recognizes the fact that Winnipeggers consume more of the icy 7-Eleven beverage than any other city. Another thing about Manitoba that sets us apart from other provinces are our socials. It's a uniquely Manitoban concept of a fundraising party, often for weddings or charity or a community organization, usually held at a community center or Legion Hall. It's called a Manitoba social, a Winnipeg social, or just simply social. It's my pleasure to introduce the last two performances for today. We will continue our travels to the last Prairie province with Chris Attrell as he shares some of Manitoba scenery and grain elevators throughout the Prairie provinces. Then for our last performance, we're going to give you a chance to stretch those muscles with the Royal Winnipeg Ballet Explorability Program. It's fantastic. Definitely check it out. Enjoy the music, follow along with some safe movements shared with us by their class. Thanks, gang.
The folks I have met over the years who have grown up in these remote farmhouses speak about those times with such endearment. Nostalgia can be selective, but at the end of the day, these people really grew to love that lifestyle. The bad times did exist, but it's the memories of the good times that they hold on to. Most of the people who settled on these farms were grateful for everything they had. They often built these houses from scratch themselves, and they had to break the land. Another thing that fascinates me a lot about the folks who grew up here is they could often remember the exact date when electricity finally arrived. It was an important life event for them. It must have been quite a change in lifestyle to have had no power for years. Now suddenly you can turn on lights and install some heating. Eventually even phone service arrived, but of course they had those party lines back in those days. All these farms and towns depended on the railroad. The trains would arrive and drop off supplies, and it'd pick up loads of grain to be shipped to the market. Many towns had up to 9 grain elevators to sell grain to. Over the last 50 years, half of these trains have stopped coming. Roads have improved and the towns have slowly emptied. Half the towns that existed at some point across the prairies no longer exist, and some are classic ghost towns. There's abandoned stores, homes, grain elevators, gas stations. These towns have a history. They used to have hockey teams, churches were filled, and stores had customers. Building so many towns only 13 kilometers away from each other was not sustainable once cars and paved highways came into existence. And with the loss of train service and grain elevator closures, the end was inevitable for most of these towns. The people who lived in them are not often sad. They had fond memories of these villages and towns, and they missed the old places. Grain elevators are what got me started into rural photography. They are so big and some are colorful. They all dominated a skyline in each town. They have been falling at a steady pace now for 20 years. There used to be about 6,000 of them. Now maybe 500 remain, and a few of them are still in use.
Hi, so my name is Jackie Ladley, and I am a teacher with Canada's Rowan and Peg Ballet School, and I teach the Explorability for Parkinson's program. So I've been teaching for the Rowan and Peg Ballet School for just over 30 years. I did my training here as a student teacher in the teacher training program and have taught throughout the entire school. I've had the opportunity to help train teachers here as well as to teach in the professional division training program. What is Explorability for Parkinson's all about? It's about participation. It's about moving our bodies in new and different ways and exploring the movement together. It's all about having fun together.
Wow. Well, I don't know about you, but this was a fantastic afternoon. We'd like to thank everyone for attending today's event, and a huge thank you to all our performers and artists who helped us highlight all that the Prairies had to offer. When you close the meeting, there will be a brief survey that will pop up. We would appreciate it if you took a minute to give us some feedback. A link to today's recording of today's event will be included in a follow-up email that we will be sending out in the next week. As part of Parkinson's Awareness Month, our next webinar will focus on the many services Parkinson Canada provides and how you can engage with us. From government relations to programs and services, come find out about the individuals who make up Parkinson Canada. Parkinson Canada, your partner in Parkinson's, will be on April 21st at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Watch your email inboxes for more details and a registration link. Thank you so much for joining us and enjoy the rest of your day.